Three, two, one. What is up, everybody? You're listening, you're watching to the Book of Gaberock podcast. I'm your host, Gabriel Avila. Uh, super, it's awesome. Right now, everything is just really, really going good. We had Gene and I had a really good Thanksgiving. Probably the most chill Thanksgiving we've ever had. Let me bring this mic a little bit closer. It was really cool. Like, this is the first time we've actually had like a empty nester Thanksgiving, and we actually decided we were going back and forth as far as like, well, we can go and get like, say a meal from Whole Foods or whatever it is. Nope, we got sushi. We actually ate the food we wanted. We chilled. We put up all the Christmas decorations. We were waiting for Benjamin to come home, and I think my room, his room is actually being reset. Fun fact: I'm already out of the sling, and we returned the recliner, so I'm on my positive method of recovering from my shoulder surgery, and so it's been really good. That's why I'm saying life is really good right now. Hoping everything's good for you as well. And so the idea of we're in December. That's crazy. December already, 2025. The new year is around the corner. I don't want to think about that. I'm actually looking just kind of 1 week ahead at a time. The big thing on our horizon, obviously, Benjamin coming home. And then we have the holidays here. And so we are trying to man everything accordingly at work. We just had our Pumpkin Chunkin event here at AFTAC. And so it's where we have trebuchets and we have, look it up, it's a catapult. And then we actually launch. It used to be pumpkins, but because it was supposed to happen in October and we had to defer to that, it actually ended up being these fake whatever. They're objects that we're hurling for large amounts of distances. And so I actually came back from that, and we actually handed out a well-deserved step promotion from one of our staff sergeants and tech sergeants. That's pretty dope. And so, yeah, just wanted to make sure we're spreading the good news this week. And we head into just kind of the holiday season. There are ups and downs for everybody, but making sure that we're taking care of each other and realizing that people can go through different kind of spaces and phases of their life, but just being there and making sure we're looking out for each other. So it's really good. So this is more of that freestyle session series where I'm going to be kind of going off the dome and giving you some perspectives of some of the content that I released last week. So last week was a reflection of being a sense maker in the IT world. So I was fortunate enough to attend the Gartner IT Symposium in Orlando, Florida. So this is actually the second year in a row that I've been there. Shout out to Miss Lauren Cotter for helping me get there. And it's a fantastic event. Luckily, it's within our neighborhood. It's about like a 40 minute drive for me. So like I actually went out of my own pocket to make sure I could attend because there was the government shutdown. So I attended in October, and it was a fantastic event. I always learn it's aimed at CIOs or wannabe CIOs like me, and just kind of arming ourselves with certain information, certain tools and techniques to just see what we can do to advance our subject matter within our organizations. So one of the briefings that I went to was talking about being a sense maker. And I actually identify with this like a lot because through my career in the Air Force, I think I've been successful because I'm a sense maker. I'm a communications officer by trade, so I'm a computer nerd. What that means is I'm a computer nerd amongst all of the other, I'm a computer jock amongst all the other nerds that are in the formation. So my job to be a good teammate is making sure that I take care of my business and spoiler, communicate the best things as I'm a communications officer. That was a pun. The idea of making sure the things that I'm working on and being part of that team actually make sense and people can take actions. My leadership can take actions on the things that I'm trying to do. Usually as the senior 17 Delta on base, like I'm the most likely the most authoritative figure when it comes to communications, but depending on what other Air Force bases you go to, hi Sally, the idea. Okay, fun fact, one take Jake. When I take all these videos, I don't do it more than once. That was Sally entering the office, and she will be, there we go. She's sitting down. It's all good. So the idea of being the sense maker within your organization is very, very important. So I recall this when I was a major. I was working for a one-star at the time, pilot, and so we were a sub-directorate, the communication director within that organization. And I remember him talking to one of my colonels, and he was like, hey, man, every time you talk, all I hear is a fax machine. I have no idea what you're talking about. I need you to break it down for me. So I remember, one, I laughed. Two, that was a very formative event for me because it's like, oh, okay. no, and I didn't see that necessarily as a fault by anybody. He was actually I believe he was actually asking for help. He really wanted to catch up and be part of the conversation, but because we were weighing him down with technical jargon and all kinds of rigmarole, he couldn't keep up with us. So our job as communicators is to make sure we can make sense of everything, hence the term sense maker. We should be able to make sense of our complicated business and make sure that the executive board, the decision makers, know what's going on. And so in the article, I talked about, define definitions. Just at work 2 days ago, we were talking about this large database, data steward program within AFTAC, and we couldn't. It was interesting. We started getting stuck on just bare definitions. What's a data? What's a database? What's a data set? Who's a data steward? What's a data manager? And so like all these things are coming up, and I was chomping at the bit because they're just fundamentals. They're fundamentals that can be defined fairly quickly. So I worked really, really quickly, obviously using some AI enhanced tools, but like I can help this team move fast because this is not that difficult. We just need to organize our thoughts. I've organized everything into a 4-phase project, and I want to push forward to get this done because I think it probably won't get done on my watch for my remaining whatever X amounts of time here, but like it's not impossible. We can get this done. So I want to make sure that I'm making sense of the organization. I believe during the end of the meeting, I got up and expressed, here's the things I need to talk about. We need to focus on definitions. We need to focus on roles and responsibilities. We need to identify processes and procedures. So where our action officers are not necessarily trying to figure out how to get the job done. They just get the job done. They already have all the information available to them. They're just kind of wandering around trying to figure it out. And that's time wasted on their part. We at the executive level owe them the clear processes and procedures to follow so we can keep on moving forward. And then the last thing was command and control. I'm still a huge proponent of commanders doing commander business. So a lot of our personnel that were involved in that meeting, they're doing this, they're performing as a data steward as an additional duty. That's cute, but what's going to happen is I don't want them to have to worry about working for too many bobs. So basically what that means is we should not have a separate tasking chain of command. They already have an existing chain of command. We should be going through the front door, making sure we're using existing processes, and then those commanders will make those prioritization decisions. But that's the way to cleanly do this. And then making sure we follow up. We understand, hey, so now that we have the entire 4-phase project outlined, now I can measure progress. I think a lot of times when we were previous attempts, it was only being thought about maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead. I thought through the entire process. Granted, I'm talking about a very, very notional kind of project, which it's not based on infinity hopes and dreams. There are measurable steps that we can make progress on. So let's just go ahead and do that. So I'm trying to make sure that we are staying on top of those projects and making sense of everything. That's the whole thing of a successful communications professional or IT professional can succeed well if you just break it down to just easily manageable bite-sized thing. Most people know that analogy. You don't try and swallow the elephant all at once. You try and take it one bite at a time. So that makes sense in our world as well. So that was my focus on a lot of things that are going on at work. I already have like 3 articles, I think, in the chamber where I'm going to be releasing them. And so, over time. And I'm still going to keep on following go to the bookofgaberock.com, find my written material. It also includes like a tear line as far as like what are the summaries you can take away. And then I'll give you this live episode to kind of give you some background info as to why I chose to write it. And then some background that may or may not be germane into the conversation, but I wanted to make sure I'm covering it. So I enjoy doing these things. I tend to share a little bit more inside base of what's going on with my family. That's why I lead with, hey, what's going on here? Again, like my shoulder's doing well, our family's doing well. I still have not, as of today is December 5th, I have not received news on where I'm going for my next assignment. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll happen. I know shout out to all the commanders that have been selected for the majors and lieutenant colonels recently selected for squadron command. I'll give a special shout out to Dan Campbell and Jonathan Hahn. So it's 2 homies I used to work with on ACC staff. Those are really, really good leaders. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing. No pressure, but don't mess this up. You know what I'm saying. If you know, you know. So those huge congratulations to those officers, and I'm looking forward to seeing them leading their formations and making this Air Force thing of ours even better. So like I said, we're going to continue this kind of alternating between written form where it's a little bit more deliberate in some of the messages as you're home here reading some of my entries into the Book of Gaberock. And then these are going to be the freestyle episodes where I give you some background info. So if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening into your favorite podcast platform, send me a note, drop a comment, and I'd be love to hear some of the things that you're thinking about. And I'm going to keep on sharing my knowledge with you to try and make sure you guys can constantly elevate. You know what I'm saying? So again, team, looking forward to talking with you through the month of December. I'll share some family stuff going on as well. Take care of yourselves. And as always, can't stop, won't stop. Peace.